so much going on the final day. I'm delighted to say we can cross now to Michael Bridge, who is at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and there he is. A nervy day ahead, it looks like, Michael, not only for Tottenham Hotspur, but I'm sure they'll be looking at their phones to find out what the scores are at the London Stadium. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning to you, Damesh. Good morning to all your guests as well. Yes, it is absolutely boiling here outside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. There's plenty of fans already walking around. They're nervous, they're concerned, they're worried. And of course they should be, because it's come down to this. But look, it shouldn't be happening at all. But Chris Cowlin from the Spurs Chat Podcast joins me. Chris, you've gone to every game this season, home and away, every tour, every European match. How are your nerves?
Feeling very nervous, feeling quite sick, not had much sleep last night, I must say, and like you just said, we shouldn't be in this position. It's been a really, really tough campaign.
Flipping it round though, if Spurs carried on maybe with Igor Tudor and didn't bring in Roberto De Zerbi, there's an argument to say they'd already be relegated.
Michael, absolutely. I think Spurs would have been gone a couple of weeks ago, mathematically. In January we were 13 points above West Ham, and there's been a real point swing. But like you said, those last few games under Thomas Frank, and particularly that 44-day stint under Igor Tudor, I think all of us Spurs fans wondered where the next point was coming from. And full credit must go to Roberto De Zerbi. He's got 8 points at the 6 games that he's managed so far, and he has brought belief and confidence into this squad, and he's put confidence and a lot of energy as well into the fan base.
Yeah, I mean, listening to Roberto De Zerbi, he's always so positive, isn't he? When Javi Seaman's injury, or Solanke injury, he just looks ahead and said, I've got a great squad, I've got great players. But, at Stamford Bridge Tuesday, you look at there, and there was a lack of quality. Do you think he's doing that deliberately, to stay positive with these set of players?
Absolutely, and I said this when De Zerbi come in. We need a manager to come in, put their arm around the players and tell them how great they are, and tell them what they're capable of. And, like I said, we picked up those points. That turning point to be in this position on the final day of the season was that win at Wolves. We won ugly, 118 days without a win. That was a terrible stat. But the very next week we went to Aston Villa, won really well. But like he said, we can't cry about the situation. We need to get on with it, and we need to get the job done today.
Listening to Martin in the previous hour, he said it would be the biggest relegation. I mean, it's been the back pages for months. Inside Spurs, a special programme. Sky Sports News Daily, radios, you name it. And, what we've got here, a piece from Sam Wallace today in the Sunday Telegraph, the 6 big issues facing Spurs if they are relegated today: the financial hit, the costs outstripping the revenue, the commercial concerns, the future of the manager. Yes, he said he's probably staying, but if relegation hit, you do wonder, will the club be sold? Player sales. I mean, it's just unthinkable, isn't it?
It is unthinkable. And a year ago, you and I were both here. The parade was sensational of us winning the Europa League. That was meant to be the springboard to more success, and we heard at the start of the season from Daniel Levy and other board members that we want to fight on all fronts. That's why they sacked Ange Postecoglou. We want to be fighting on all fronts. We've gone through 4 managers in the last 12 months. It's ridiculous. We can't carry on like this. If Spurs do survive, a number of major things need to change at the football club in order to get this club where it needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's also a piece today in the Sunday Times from Alison Rudd. Let me just read the title out. Spurs fans made home unwelcoming. No wonder Romero won't be at the last game. Tottenham supporters have practically engineered club's crisis with their negativity undermining players and contributing to only 2 Premier League home wins. Of course, the story over the last few days about whether Christian Romero was going to be here or not, was he in Argentina? That's led to many fans being incredibly angry. Our understanding is he's now back in London. Let's just start on that article. For someone who's been to every game this season, to blame the fans, is it your fault? Is it the supporters' fault?
Absolutely not. I find that laughable, really, because the fans have been absolutely sensational. And, like I said at the start, we've had a real rough ride this campaign, gone through all these different managers. The decisions from the board members and the owners have not been good enough. Romero himself has criticised the board members and the club's ambition on a number of occasions. But to blame the fans at this point is absolutely absurd, because the fans have been with this club, they've been with whatever manager we've had in the dugout, and we've supported the club throughout.
I mean, the Nottingham Forest game here a couple of months ago, you had, 25,000 welcoming the coach in. Okay, it didn't work in the end, they lost to Nottingham Forest, but I mean, do you find it quite insulting that maybe that's the view, that it's the supporters' fault?
It is insulting.
That Romero feels like that.
The fans are doing everything they can to support this football club, and what I would say, and I think it's very fair to say, is that the players have underperformed all campaign. And some of these players do need to look at themselves and reflect on this very poor season. Yes, we've had a lot of injuries. Yes, there are a lot of problems at the football club, but to blame the fans is absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, I saw Romero on the Monday Night Football against Leeds. He was practically kicking every ball. But where do you stand on it? Because obviously he went back to Argentina for a bit. He's back now. What's your views on Romero, club captain?
Regardless of rehabilitation in Argentina, and of course we know that he was meant to be in Argentina now. He's come back to London, purely based on the fact that there has been so much backlash and criticism from the media.
I think that's why that is.
Absolutely. There's no question or doubt about that. But club captain should always be here. Can you imagine someone like Gary Mabbutt or Ledley King, these types of people, doing the same thing? Absolutely not. The club captain should have always been here, regardless of injury. If it was a family issue, I can completely understand, but he should always have been at this game.
It is. It's boiling, isn't it? It's sweltering. Do you think that's going to help Spurs? I mean, I don't know how that's going to go. Whether it's going to be an advantage to a team that is so desperate to win.
Michael, I tell you what, today I can't call it because we know what performances we've seen all season under multiple different managers, but these players need to perform whatever the weather, whatever's happening inside that stadium. We shouldn't be focused on that West Ham game because we should just be focusing on ourselves. We should almost delete the 37 games and just treat this game as a one-off, a cup final, and get over the line.
Is it the biggest game you've ever been to?
I think so, definitely here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, definitely in recent history, because we've spoken, at length over the years, especially outside this ground, about huge games, Champions League, big Premier League games, but this is absolutely huge. We need to stay in the best division in the world.
And are Spurs staying in the division, yes or no?
I hope so.
Yes or no?
I hope so. I can't call it.
Goodness me. Right, that's the view of Chris Cowlin here. So many fans are already here, despite it being so early. Spurs against Everton, one more match.
Michael, Chris, thank you very much indeed for now. Right, John.